not experience hair loss. You have no idea. Street saying you was born in Quebec. Yeah, see, this is why you can't listen to everything you hear, because what the fuck are you saying? Street saying you were born in Quebec. Oh, somebody sent me this video. I'm not gonna lie to you. We're still gonna play Sleeping Dogs, most likely. But they called me Unc before they send it to me. I have to see what it's about.
What's good, YouTube? It's Justice I Used to Be Paid. Today I'm back with another video. What's good, YouTube? It's Justice I Used to Be.
Off that alone, I already want to turn it off, because why did it start over and play the exact same message?
Paid. Today I'm back with another video. And in this video, we're going to be talking about Luke.
Wait, why are y'all saying most likely? Why are y'all saying most likely? I said it. Wait, there's no way I just said that. I did not just say that, on God.
My bad, the Snoop Dogg song with the mean rapper was the song I wanted you to hear.
No, nigga, it's literally like, I'm on the cusp. I'm on the cusp. You know what I'm saying?
Uzi's ageism catching up to him. But
this is about Lil Uzi?
before I get into that, make sure you leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Do all those things. It helps me out a ton. Gen Z is a very ageist generation. We hate all things that are old.
Oh my God. Oh my God, bro. Oh, whoever that nigga in the Discord was, oh my fucking God, bro. Like, y'all just make niggas, like, you're just insufferable people. I'm not even trolling. Like, oh my God, bro. Like, holy fuck, like, just drone ass niggas. I'm not even playing. Like, oh my God. Video essay is just trying not to say the dumbest shit imaginable. I really don't get fully what he's about to say, but just off the one line, it's just like, bro, yes, I know.
Gen Z, if you are over the age of 20, you're ancient.
He look 32, except he doesn't. Why are you lying? It's just, why lie? Gen Z is like full of delusional niggas that think they got shit on lock and they don't have any idea what they're talking about 9 times out of 10, bro. Oh my God. And they're so unfunny. They're dangerously unfunny and unoriginal.
Bro, like, you might as well just get ready to go ahead.
Not the whole generation, because I would hate to, you know, obviously you can't say that, but still, brother, like, holy fuck.
And get in that box and go 6 feet under, because your life is over once you hit 20. Like, you ever see those videos of those, like, kids or those basketball players in college when they're like, how old do you need to be considered?
Stop putting shit in the general context. Like, I'm not gonna stop doing that, because once again, it's like, why are we having that? Like, obviously you know the person, obviously isn't saying every single person. Like, you wouldn't know every person. It kind of goes without saying.
To be old nowadays, and they're like, ah, man, 24. You know, what year do you
mean, Sean? Are you telling me Chief Keef ain't the GOAT?
I mean, anybody saying that's an agreeable take, no matter what. I don't care who you are. Like, that's just something that's facts.
You need to be born in to be considered old. And they're like, 2003. And it's like, what? Like, what are you talking about? Like, on TikTok, you would think I'm the oldest man on the planet. I'm not going to tell you my exact age, but I'm in between the years of 20 and 26. And they always tell me to go start a family. You're Unc now. Let it go, bro. You're not a kid anymore. Why are you making TikTok? Like, you would think I'm the oldest person to ever step foot on Earth. And even though Uzi he is a younger millennial, he acted just like this when he was on his come up. He would constantly talk about his age. He would talk about the difference between himself and the older generation of rappers, or the older generation.
I'm really hey, you hear me? I'm too young.
In Uzi's defense, though, I will say this. Uzi got so much backlash and angst and disregard and disrespect and overlooking from the people that were older than him that it makes sense that he developed this attitude towards the older generation and his older, like, you know, his OGs or whatever you want to call them. That would make sense if they're being, like, super negative toward me, my music, my come up, and saying I'm basically the worst thing that's happened to hip hop since I don't know when. It's like, well, damn, what the fuck? Why would I respect you? Why would I give you any type of love or anything like that? But the Gen Z that he's referring to, or the generation that the dude who's making this video is referring to, unprovoked, like no matter what, people can just be doing regular mundane things. If you're 25, 26, 27 plus, it's like, let's use the same drone joke that we've been using the last 5 years because it's never going to get old. It does. And you know what else is going to get old? You. And I would hate to be the guy to tell you that once you hit 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, that you're old. I wouldn't. Like, why would I ever say, oh, when you get to that age, you're going to feel like horrible? No, you're going to feel like a normal human being. You're going to feel like a regular person because that's what you are. What are you talking about? But Uzi, it makes sense that he did this. I don't like that he did this either, too, by the way. But it does make sense that he was saying this to the like, this interview was iconic for many reasons, not just Uzi saying that he's not gonna rap.
Not allowed to have fun on social media anymore.
100%.
After 25.
It's like it's like they want to create this space where you can do nothing, and they're making this space like more breathable every single time. It's like, bro, I don't even want to. It's like annoying as shit. It's not funny like in a oh my god haha again, but it's like, nigga, again, like every fucking time. You don't have shit. Holy shit, bro. But Uzi, it makes sense for this, and this interview is so iconic because it kind of underscores the very deep generational divide in that the gatekeepers of hip hop disrespecting the newcomers is what basically led to the events that, you know what I'm saying, we see today. You know, like, this happening in the way that it did showed that there's a severe underappreciation for what the younger guys are doing. But like I said before, Uzi had something that wasn't being appreciated, and it was being undervalued and disrespected. Like, what the fuck? What is Gen Z giving me or giving people that they even need to be defensive about to start calling people names over just aging?
It's gonna be disappointing. All the old guys.
That shit blowing me.
Bobby would talk about how him and his generation are doing things differently, and he heavily valued that youth. And he would say to all the older people, if you're not going to get with the program, then you just need to go ahead and get out the way. Yet now, Uzi is of the age of the people that he used to call old.
Whoa, hold on, wait a minute.
Yet now, Uzi is of the age of the people.
Uzi's 31? I don't know why I thought this whole time Uzi and I were the same age. Look at niggas, pre-damn, don't do it. I'm just surprised. Whenever I say damn to somebody's age, it's generally because I'm shocked at how fast time went by. Uzi was literally just 21 or 24 or 25 on some shit. Like, just yesterday, EXO Tour Life was the head of it was the head of the Sexuals. It was the main song. You understand what I'm saying? That was literally 2016. Like, it was just, it was a flash. Me saying damn is just like, damn, that's insane how quickly that just went by.
People that he used to call old. And I think that he's actually in a very interesting part of his career now. Lil Uzi is a founding member of this generation of rap. A lot of the trends, fashion, and music really got its start with Uzi. And
he's still 2 years older than me. That's what's crazy. I'm under this impression that we're in the, like, obviously we're in the same generation, but, like, I wouldn't have thought that because he never has carried himself in a way that we traditionally have thought that you're supposed to be once you hit a certain age. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's always acted the same way he introed himself as.
His come up. It still feels a bit weird to say since this is like my high school era of music, but Uzi is an OG at this point. He's been around for like over a decade now as a major player in the rap scene. This gimmicky rapper from Philadelphia with purple dreads and strange outfits and even stranger music actually lasted 10 years instead of falling off like a lot of the media members said he would when he was on his rise.
You're not
He's
wrong.
now 31 years old and now at a point in his career where he is an elder statesman. And while I wouldn't say his career is in a complete state of flux, there definitely isn't a laid out path for him at the moment. And the future, the near future especially, is up in question. Uzi has always seen himself as the young guy coming in with all the sauce, throwing a wrench into the game. You know, innovating sounds and styles, almost starting a revolution in hip hop. And he was right to believe those things about himself. But now he's the older, established guy who isn't really trailblazing or breaking any new ground anymore. In fact, his style that was seen as so chaotic and so new and so out there has been adapted by so many people that came behind him. He's not even really seen as super different anymore. He doesn't.
I wouldn't agree. I wouldn't disagree with that. But I mean, that's definitely a space to prove dominance as well. But you can't do it. What a lot of artists do, they just speak to their legacy or their influence in their music in like a snarky way, and they're super exclusive to the brand that they helped elevate or introduce to the world. So when you see your influences and then you see a bunch of copycats or a bunch of babies or offspring that you kind of spawn with your sound and your style and your aesthetic, a lot of them aren't as welcoming to those acts. And when it comes to Uzi, like, I think that's how you stay alive and that's how you stay relevant. A lot of people don't like the fact that Drake does this. And I typically don't either, because it doesn't really always, it never generally feels like genuine, his attachment to certain people. But it's a way to keep yourself out there and kind of, it sounds like a bad word, but leech off of, you know what I mean, those that are around you that are younger but are coming up in a very successful ladder. Like co-signing them and adding yourself to their tracks and to their moments only just helps your relevance and help you stay alive. And I think Drake has done that incredibly well. Somebody could easily be like, oh, he's a leech, or it's like vampire sucking in a way, but other people aren't as willing to put themselves out there in front on display with people to keep their music, you know what I'm saying, as a relevant source of entertainment the same way some of these other guys are. I missed the 24 karat diamonds on his forehead, not gonna lie. I completely forgot he got that removed.
Stick out like a sore thumb like he used to in the past. There was a time when Uzi was so new and everything that he was doing was so different that...
Like, I really think Uzi just need to work with more people again. Work with more people, you know, invite newer acts onto his music, steal ideas, you know what I'm saying, add them to his own. You know what I'm saying? He could be right back where he was. You know what I'm saying?
Everything he did was either copied or it was heavily debated upon as the worst thing to ever happen in the history of hip-hop, or something really cool and something that's going to break open doors for the next generation. Now, I'm not saying that Uzi can no longer innovate in rap after turning 30 or being over the age of 30, but it just doesn't come as easy for him as it once did. It's not as natural as when you're the new guy who's coming in and setting the entire world on fire. I think we're seeing this reflected in Uzi's music. Lil Uzi's music isn't as dominant as it was 5 to 7 years ago now. In fact, his last 2 albums weren't really super well received unanimously. Now, I will die on the hill that Pink Tape is a good album. I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone has to say. You can't tell me anything about that project. I think it's really good. I enjoy the experimental stuff. I enjoy some of the weird, quirky stuff on there. I think
some of the shit on Pink Tape is just bad. But I don't think people like not liking a project or not has anything to do with Uzi's dominance in hip hop. I do think it's what he mentions earlier though, like I don't even know if it's an aging thing or people being introduced to newer acts. I just feel like Uzi has progressively put in less effort over time. And you could argue whether or not you think that's a problem as he's gotten older. But generally, the more time people spend at the top, the less effort they generally put into their work or their art. And Uzi is a product of that. When Eternal Take came out, for example, it was a lot of fragmented ideas on that project. I think he came out and double backed almost a week or a couple of days after and dropped another tape immediately after that one, not even allowing that one to breathe. When it came to Eternal Take 2, which didn't need a second iteration, or the Pink Tape, for example, which felt more like nostalgia bait than I want to do something innovative and brand new for my audience, even though there were good records off of that album, it just feels like he was phoning it in a lot of the time to say that I dropped the project, and that's really it. I could also blame his record label too. I'm sure there's record label shenanigans that, you know, helped with the conversation that we having now when it comes to like maybe thwarting a little bit of Uzi's success, but I still feel like a large portion of it is just him progressively feeling like he didn't need to put in as much work. And even now I still feel like he feels like that. Like there's not really that effort to put that work in as much as you can just egg people on with, hey, I'm about to drop this, or y'all remember when I sounded like this? I'm about to go back to that. Like, that's what I feel like Uzi does for the most part.
I think it's a ton of fun, but there's no denying that.
But I don't think any of this is a product of Uzi getting older, though. I think this is just sometimes it's bad decision making.
That isn't the total overall kind of.
Because people were there when Pink Tape came out. They just were. They were waiting. He had the attention.
Free opinion when it comes to the Pink Tape. Most people in rap really didn't care for it that much. Even some of Uzi's diehard fans didn't really care for that album that much. Now, when we get to Eternal Take 2, there's not much I can say for that project. I think that is, I don't want to say a bad album, but it's definitely not a good album. And I think that opinion has been reflected amongst the community, whether it's Uzi fans or just fans as a whole. Everyone kind of agrees that Eternal Take 2 was a miss. And I think that not only did the poor reaction from fans kind of get to Uzi a bit, I also think that the low sales did as well, because this album only sold 60K first week.
Whoa. I thought that was 80 first week. Everyone agrees that is a trigger of mine. I get what you're saying, but when you see, it's like, we just did the Marvel list, for example. When you look at Morbius or whatever the fuck that movie was, it's not that everyone unanimously agrees, but enough people have spoken up, and there are enough opinions about this that are generally coinciding with one another to say that this movie isn't actually enjoyable, like, at all. And that's just the rubric that he's using to judge the Uzi album, you know? But I would agree. It's no surprise that I agree and he agrees, and many people tend to agree that album is bad.
Which, for Uzi, the guy that Uzi is a very low mark. It's truly an amazing thing that Uzi's career has.
It also doesn't help that album is one of his lowest selling in years.
It's gone on for this long with this much great music, this much fan support, this many numbers and accomplishments. Like, it's an amazing thing. However, I don't think Uzi ever really thought of himself as, like, getting older and rapping. And I know that sounds weird because, like, you know, it was only 7 years ago, but still, when you look at the way that he used to talk or look at some of his old tweets, it was like he didn't picture himself rapping at 30 plus. Maybe he thought he would be full-time doing the rock star thing, or maybe just moving on to a completely different venture in life. But he would tweet stuff like, oh, you know, if you're older than 25, then you're old, just accept it, or something like that. Or he would tweet things like, if you're 30 and up, you're lame. And now...
But he's buns, though. Like, it's the same. It's like the Trippie Redd effect. I like Trippie Redd to an extent. I wouldn't say, you know, him getting older is a result of why he's making garbage right now. He sucks. He fucking sucks right now, and that's just what it is. Uzi fucking sucks right now, and that's just what it is. Like, you being old or not just don't mean nothing, I feel like. Denzel Curry is making... I'm not saying that, you know what I'm saying. Denzel Curry's best work, I still feel like, is behind him, but he's making good enough material now where people can't be like, oh yeah, he's not good anymore because he turned 30. I just don't feel like that's the case. It's time for Jazz Unk. Oh God, like, what does he get, like, inspired by new things at a different age? Sure, he could be, but that isn't reflected in his music ever. The tape him and Future did together during COVID, I thought that would be a way more interesting project. It wasn't. That could have been another great project. It just wasn't. The barter shit, the barter 1600 or whatever the shit that he was marketing that one year could have been a good idea. Where'd it go?
He is that.
And even more on the barter shit is just borrowed shit from Wayne from Thug. So it's derivative after derivative after derivative. Like, where's the originality that we come to expect and know from Uzi? I don't think that's him getting old. I just think when you, to a certain extent, I'm not saying that the people that were detractors of Uzi in the beginning of his career were right, but you prove them right when you start going down this path.
30-year-old lame person, I guess, according to his own words.
I told a lot of people, there's a lot of people I never saw in person. I want to see how they look in person.
Like who?
I don't know. All the old people. I want to see how they look, see how old they look.
And it feels like in his career, he's kind of stuck. Like he just doesn't really know what to do next. Now, of course, this is me looking from the outside in, but I think there's a lot of evidence to prove that based on him saying a whole bunch of different things.
In today's digital ecosystem, age should not even be an issue. But see, that's the problem, because he brings up an interesting point about Gen Z in the beginning of the video that proves that there is going to be some level of disdain for even listening to an older act. There's some Gen Zers specifically, or people that won't even entertain the music of an artist that's beyond a certain age, not for fear of like not being like included in their own crowd, but just, oh yeah, nah, he's too old for me to listen to, or this person's too old for me to listen to. They do it. I'm not trolling. It's not a troll. I'm being so dead ass. You could tell by the way they communicate that they don't listen to some of these dudes because they are of a certain age. I'm not trolling.
Uzi, new era. We're going back to 2016. We're doing Barter 1600. Like, there's a lot of different things that he's been saying. So it feels like he's not really quite sure.
I don't think enough of them are moving the needle though to like maybe impact someone's core sales. I think if you're a Gen Zer and you're truly a Clips fan, it's not like an influx of Gen Z Clips fans that are like not gonna be listening to the music because they hit 50 years old. You know what I'm saying? Or nothing like that. But there are, like I said, people that entertain this logic of once you hit this, you're too old for this, and I'm just not gonna listen. Like, that's stupid.
Where to go next, and I think that is a bit weird for him because Uzi never had to think about what he's gonna do next, what his next sound was gonna be. Uzi just did. He just did things, and people liked it regardless. So now when he's just doing things, and people are kind of like, I don't know about that, Uzi. I think that is kind of weird for him, and he's not really quite sure how to handle that. Ironically, whenever Uzi tries to like activate his fan base or rejuvenate them, get them excited again, he kind of leans into the old Uzi. He'll say stuff like the old Uzi's coming back, or he'll do a bunch of things that remind people of stuff from back.
Ageism is more of marketing's impact on the youth than true disdain towards older people's work. Bro, I'm not gonna lie. If you gave me, who can I think of? It's just unfortunate when I was younger, there weren't any like old rappers. Everybody was still relatively young, but I wouldn't be, upset with someone who's young wanting to listen to somebody that's young, or someone that they could closer identify with. You know what I'm saying? Or at least raps within subject matter that they could see themselves in, and generally that's within their own age group.
In the day, or
I think marketing plays a part, but there's also like a want or a desire to hear what you want to hear. You know what I mean?
Say he's going to continue a series that people loved in his discography, like Love is Rage. I think that's exactly what happened with EA2. EA2 didn't really need to be a continuation of the original EA. It didn't really feel like it musically, at least to me. Now, of course, he tried to do some things with the aesthetics and, trying to tell the story of now he's in the alien world and he's breaking out or whatever, but that album just didn't really feel like it needed to be EA2, besides nostalgia baiting fans, at least in my opinion. And sometimes he'll even like have his hair dyed purple again to get those 2016 vibes back and have the fans going crazy. When the
nigga said, what the fuck are you saying? Go to a Clips concert now and it's hella young niggas in there. Just more young people are bad bullshit that every generation is doing. Gen X did it to you and now you're perpetuating it. That's not what I just said. And you just kind of reinforce the narrative when you don't listen to context that this is included within. It doesn't mean that Clips doesn't have young audiences or young fans. That's not what that means. That's like saying that, oh yeah, because you're a lyrical spiritual, or you have like, Alchemist beats or Derringer beats, that women don't listen to you. And they, clearly Griselda has a decently sized women demographic or women fan base. You're not hearing what I'm saying though, and that's fine, but don't put your shoe in a conversation if you're trying to come at it from one angle. All I'm saying is the greater group of people that consume Clips are not Gen Zers. They're not people that are significantly younger than they are. They're just not. You can try your best to kind of misconstrue what's being said here. If you did a census or a poll for Clips demographic, it wouldn't be a group of 20-somethings. I don't know how many times niggas want to have to reframe the conversation. That's not how it goes. The likelihood of, Lilo as he's growing, or the likelihood of an Uzi, or the likelihood of, another young act that you could probably associate yourself with, a Cardi, is going to be specifically geared towards people that are younger. That's not like a lie. No one's making that up. That's a stat. Yeet, same thing. Like, what are you talking about? You're making it seem like because you see 20 somethings in a crowd of a group of old rappers that's the bulk of their audience, and it's not. What are you saying?
Last two albums came out and they weren't super well received. Uzi tried to like distract us. I don't really know how to describe it, but he's like immediately like forget about that. I'm dropping new music, and he did that both with the Pink Tape and EA2. And he typically does it with like old music. He's like, yeah, guys, I'm gonna drop some Love Is Rage 3 for y'all. I'm gonna drop Love Is Rage 3, or I'm gonna.
What about Love Is Rage 3?
Oh yeah, that's coming. Not too long. Like honestly, I know I usually be lying a couple of months.
Drop some stuff that sounds like old Uzi. Like it's kind of like his tactic of like getting what I guess is the heat off of him for dropping a project that a lot of people didn't like. When he dropped,
Nobody said that it's the fact that Gen Z just doesn't like old niggas. Why are you harping on that? That doesn't make any sense. No one said that. Literally, no one said that.
dropped Pink Tape, and you know there was a lot of mixed reviews. A lot
What
of
are you
people weren't liking
saying?
it, some people were. He immediately came out and said, "Hey y'all, I'm about to drop Barter 1600," which was supposed to be his.
I still can't believe he did this, bro. I still can't believe he did this. You literally no, I didn't. Boy Wonder again. Don't lie on me once again. We can have this conversation again, but niggas, if you gonna lie and not also talk about the fact that we're talking about how sales and marketing have an impact and how the bulk of their audience isn't just the people that you're seeing at their shows. They're also the people that grew up with their music predominantly, and the people that have been listening to it for, I don't know, 10, 15 plus years now aren't 20 something year olds. And no one said that it's just because, oh, they just don't like their music. They'll never listen to it because they're young. No one ever said that. Sean, Ice Cube is in the playlist right now. That's fire. I'm glad you listened. I'm glad you listened to Ice Cube. That's cool. Crazy because Barter 16 Uzi had one of the best snippets ever, but then he never dropped. I don't get why they doing what. You don't get what they're doing over there. I don't know. I'm glad that never happened though, because again, that would have been derivative after derivative after derivative. Like, it just doesn't need to exist. We don't need Uzi cosplaying Thug, cosplaying Lil Wayne. I just don't think that needs to happen.
Version of Young Thug's Barter 6, which is Young.
And I just specifically talked about how good Drake does when it comes to marketing and including himself on other people's. Like, niggas don't listen. That's the problem. That's what I'm seeing right now. Like, niggas chime in to give a 2 cents about an opinion that they might feel, and then don't listen to the context of what was said. I specifically used Drake as an example so that people could understand it's not necessarily about just age. It's also about who you decide to work with and attach yourself to and leech off of to stay in relevant musical conversations. That's another thing that Uzi just isn't doing. To reference his point in the video about how Uzi seems to be changing his artistic trajectory because he's getting older, when in reality is because Uzi just isn't putting in that effort to appeal to the same people that listened to him when he was younger.
Thug's version of the Carter series from Lil Wayne, which, you know, it's a really long thing that just, you know what
So
I'm
I
talking
got
about.
a question.
Yeah, he was like, oh yeah, Barter 1600 on the
In
way.
your eyes, what would be the best way an artist can age along with his music?
I don't know. I just wouldn't pay attention to it, and I would say that you should do what comes natural. If it starts to become more calculated, outside of the booth, then you're making a mistake, in my opinion. Because Drake, I feel like, is really good when it comes to his marketing to a certain extent, yes, but at the same time, it's like you also need to apply this change to a certain extent musically, because after a while, people are going to catch on to the fact that you're saying the same shit in this song as you did in the last one, and there isn't much growth in between. Like, there's only so much musical leeching that you can do before niggas start to notice, okay, when I come back to the bulk of your material, like, what do you got for me? There has to be some type of alteration, some type of growth, or some type of change. I'm not saying Uzi is going to be, like, the thing here, I think people are obsessed with remaining at the top their entire career. And there's a way to age gracefully. There is. But the obsession with trying to retain so much attention while also not doing anything musically to deserve that attention is going to leave you in positions where you're doing shit like this, like nostalgia baiting in order to get people's ears and eyes. Like, you don't need to do that. Just drop a record. You want people to listen to your new material, drop a single. That's how it's supposed to work.
Sean, what do you think will happen to underground artists like Netspend and Shay when they age, as they rely on an audience that's 18 and younger to listen to them?
I think they're setting themselves up terribly, because not only is the sound of their music, to me, not innovative enough to... I feel like they're very much so identifiable branches of something much bigger than them. And so there's nothing wrong with being a fan of like a subgenre or a subset of a subgenre, but I don't see that having a long-standing, like, enough people aren't gonna like tap into this part of what this is a part of. You get what I'm saying? I don't even know what you could say Netspin is inspired directly by. Maybe you throw, I don't know, like maybe Ken Carson or, you know, Opium. I don't know. I'm probably out of the loop on who exactly he's inspired by. And I wouldn't say Ken Carson directly, but I just feel like the people that have inspired that sound are always going to retain more attention and more eyes. Like, I don't think his sound is something that you should start a career off of. I don't. I think you need a lot more. I think you just need a lot more assets.
I guess I see what you're saying, that they don't need to keep reaching for the top, but instead they should be talking about things in their life as they get older. Would T-Pain be a good example?
You don't even have to change your subject matter, but just do things different music. Become more creative from an artistic point of view. Do more things. You've got more access. Do things that you haven't done before. Try things you never tried before. I always give Kanye West the credit. He always approached music like a kid, like a bright-eyed kid. For a long time, it felt like Kanye approached music like that. And you could tell based off the way that his music evolved over the years. Like, oh shit, like he's not settling. He's not getting too comfortable. He's challenging himself in certain ways and asking for help where he needs it. They want to do everything by themselves and get everybody to listen and then ask for no one's help. And it's just like, bro, you have access. Just do the thing. Press the buttons. You're giving up way too soon and then falling into this pool of mediocrity when you don't have to. There's no reason for Uzi to be on the cusp of artistic bankruptcy because he refuses to, I don't know, just lock in. Lock in.
And doing like Young Thug cosplay, it was kind of
him being 30 got nothing to do with it.
Strange. But then after that, he was like, "Hey y'all, if y'all get the..."
By the way, Future's an anomaly. Future, you just gotta catch him on the right day. Cause Future can make a project full of ass, but he can also go in fucking sane, and you just don't know when it's gonna happen. You just don't know when it's gonna happen. But when you catch him in the right day, oh my God, he out of there every single time. It just don't matter.
Pink tape to, I believe he said if y'all get the pink tape to #1.
But he's super rare of an example of someone who can make the same type of music for years and it just work. And genuinely, I don't think I'll ever get tired of hearing Future on the mic. I literally don't. I literally don't. There's so many critiques about having to evolve and change as you grow. He is probably one of maybe 3 rappers that can just do that.
He would drop Love is Rage 3, which, you know, is a historic series in the Uzi catalog. That's probably his strongest series in his discography. So people were like, oh my God, Love is Rage 3, the return to the old Uzi sound. We have to write, you know, and it was like trying to almost distract us from the fact that the conversation surrounding the pink tape wasn't completely positive all the way around. And with EA2, he did a very similar thing. EA2 came out and, you know, if you thought the conversation surrounding the pink tape was really negative, the conversation surrounding that album was very, very negative. And he immediately was like dropping a snippet on Instagram and people were like, oh my God, the old Uzi's back, the old Uzi's back, I can't believe it. Yeah, this is going to be way better than the album. People weren't even saying that EA2 was just his last album on the deal, and he was just trying to put an album out there for the label so he can...
I hate when they do that, but I get it, but I hate it at the same time. It's like, bruh, come on, gang. I get it, though, but come on, bruh.
Get off his label and actually drop his real music. Whenever fans have to make up their own theory like that, especially they go to that theory and they say that this album was just a throwaway to get off the label, that's how you know an album was kind of bad, bruh. Like, I'm not, you know, I love Uzi. And
There's context to it. There's context to it, but at the same time, you can't. If y'all listen to that album earnestly, even with the context of it potentially being a label cast off, don't say nothing to nobody that listened to it earnestly as well and is calling it bad. Your name is still on the album. I don't know what did the album not get released by Uzi because he wanted to get out of the deal? No, the name is still on it. If somebody wants to say it's a bad album because it's a bad album, they can say it's a bad album. You did release it.
that's the only bad album in his discography, in my opinion. But whatever the
What's the worst Uzi album? It might be Eternal to Take Two. Or I'm leaning towards that album that he dropped a week or within the first couple days of Eternal to Take Two. Or not Eternal to Take Two. I'm leaning towards that record that he dropped not long after Eternal to Take. Within that same weekend. I just don't remember what the name of that one was.
fans are going out of their way and saying, yo, he dropped this album just to get off his label. It's a throwaway. Don't.
Versus the World 2 might have been the one that I'm talking about. I'm not 100% though.
Don't even pay attention to that album, bro. It doesn't matter. That's how you kind of know with the project. It seems like whenever Uzi feels like his music isn't landing the way he wanted, he kind of resorts to nostalgia.
No, you know what? It was the Future collab album. The Future collab album and EA2 are the worst ones under Uzi.
Not only is his music not being glazed, but it feels like he lacks a bit of confidence in what he's doing. For the Pink Tape, he didn't put out a single music video, and as soon as he got like 2 weeks away from the album, he completely stopped talking about it, stopped promoting it, stopped posting about it. It's like as soon as he drops and it's not loved, he tries to move on as quick as possible. Uzi is far from a lame artist, at least to me. He just now has to be a bit more intentional with what he does. Like he said when he was on the come up with these old guys who have been running around for a minute, they gotta get with the program. Uzi is now the guy who might need to get with the program with some of these young guys. Uzi's at a very pivotal point in his career where
I don't know why he's okay. Like the premise of even in your verbiage, the way you talk about things has to develop and change because he just said get with the young guys. Uzi is still the young guy. He's 31 years old. When Uzi is 36, he'll still be the young guy. When he's 39, he'll still be the young guy. No one looked at Nipsey Hussle when he passed away at 33 years old. And said, oh, that seemed like that. Obviously, a part of people being sad about him passing away was because he was young. 33 years old is too young to die. Too young you have too much life ahead of you to pass at 33 years old. I'm sorry. The way these things are talked about are just so like, I don't understand because when I was growing up and people used to pass like at that age, my grandfather passed away at 42. And I'm like, oh my God, that's too young. I'm not saying that you're a child, but at the end of the day, it's like you have a lot of life ahead of you to be called, oh, what? It just doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me.
People are doubting him, and the others are just hopeful that he can return to the musical dominance he once had. I think Uzi's an amazing artist, and if he locks in, he can awaken another prime. He'll pretty much always be relevant, but if he's still able to be a creative mind that people follow into his 30s, that would be super impressive. It is just a bit funny, though, that when Uzi finally starts to hit some rocks in the road in his career is when he gets to the age that he was ridiculing a lot of people for just being. Like, you can't choose your age, but Uzi was really going at people's necks for daring to be born before him. Now, his career could have fallen off in like a few years like Lil.
But he had a reason for it. I'm not mad at anybody defending themselves against the same demographic that's coming at them for literally just having fun. I'm not mad at that. He should have called them old because they were old and they were mad and they were angry and they were upset that they weren't the ones and that no one wanted to listen to them and that the attention was being stolen by the newer generation that was coming around. He should have called them old, bitter, washed up, weak, nerds, all of that.
Pump or smoke perp, and we wouldn't even be having these discussions. So it's not like unheard of to finally have some issues in your career 10 years in, or it's not a bad thing, or it's not something to try to point the finger at Uzi and be like, oh my God, you're a bum, you fell off. Like it's none of that. It is just a bit.
Now the tables have turned. Yeah, but Uzi isn't the old guy, screaming at the kids to get off his lawn. He's not making videos and songs talking about how the newer generation is washed up musically. Like, he's letting them be. Partially because he's still young himself, technically, but he's not angsty or bitter about other people having success, changing the way hip hop is being consumed or the way it's being listened to or made. That's still those same people.
Funny though that he was so heavy on his age and youth and all this stuff, and being young was so great, and now that he's no longer young, at least according to that version of Uzi, even though he's still a young person, like 30 is not old in any way, shape, or form. It's just funny that now his struggles come once he's past the age of 27, and it's just kind of a bit of a full circle moment of like, the power of the tongue, maybe. But I don't know. Regardless, if you made it this far, let me know what you think of this video down below. What do you think Uzi needs to do to really get back on the right track? And do you think he's done? Some people really think Uzi's done at this point. He's 30 years old. He has a lot of weird mannerisms and weird styles and sounds, and maybe that doesn't work for somebody who's over 30.
I think it's even better, too, because Uzi's aesthetic isn't old man, or, like, even if you think... Like, I had to be told just now throughout this video, Osama bitch lot, wow. I want to apologize. Nah, that's crazy. I didn't even mean to say that. Nah, I fuck with you. I appreciate the sub. Oh my god. What I was saying was, nah, hold on. Relax. Everybody calm down. What I was saying was, aesthetically, like, I literally learned through this video that Uzi was 31 years old. That means I don't consider him or view him through old nigga perspective. I'm not looking at him through an old nigga lens. I'm not. Like, he still got the aesthetic and the allure of young, whatever the case is. You know what I'm saying? None of this matters. One good album from Uzi, the conversation changes. He's back where, well, not back, but he's in that space where he has that dominance and he has that hold on people once again. He just has to work for it. He has to earn it. That's quite literally all he has to do. Just lock in the stew. That's it. This all comes down to work ethic. For real, I don't think of Future as old. He don't give that vibe. That's what I'm saying. I don't look at Future as old. I don't. He's just there. He's literally just there. If Chance can do it, Uzi can do it. Chance and Uzi are vastly different artists. But I get like where you coming from. But Chance had to evolve. Chance doesn't have the same, like, luxuries that Uzi and people like Future are afforded. Play Kenzo, I appreciate you with the 19. You all wrote off Chance at 26. It's a little bit harsh. I don't know what you mean by all, but I don't think anybody even looked at Chance as, like, old. Even with this record that came out, like, I just think they forgot about him. And that's, partially on him, too. He didn't drop since the Big Day. The Big Day, I think, was 2019. Have I seen Future's hair? That's a stylistic choice. I don't know, like, his hair not actually gray or platinum or silver or nothing like that. I don't think, right? If Future actually got a head full of gray hair right now, I might actually change my tune. I'm not trolling. Do I think the perception of hip-hop scene as a lesser art form compared to other genres and art forms has affected the longevity in the treatment of older artists and their growth with their audiences? I don't have as much investment into those other genres as I do hip-hop. You know what I'm saying? But it probably does have an impact. I don't think it's a coincidence that, like, no one ever says that and not that I really have that much, stock in the other artists, but, like, no one says, like, you're too old to be doing this, or you're too this to be that, or you got to tighten up, or you got to be this. And I hate, like, I don't want to throw that conversation in here, but, like, I feel like a portion of it is also trying to appeal to that whole you got to be a role model type thing. And it's like, bro, no, you don't. Like, these people have parents and people that are supposed to be responsible for them. Like, do what thou, oh, Jesus. I was about to quote Aleister Crowley. Holy shit, what am I talking about? But you get what I'm saying. Like, I just don't think it's that artist's responsibility to be that, what do you say, foundation in someone's life to get them to try to make the right or proper decisions. Like, you don't have to tighten up so that people that are listening to you also tighten up. I don't think that's your responsibility.
I feel like Uzi's biggest problem is his inability to follow through, stand on what he wants to do, and tries too hard to cater to fans. He has more scrapped albums than official releases because of that, like 16 times 29 Yeet collab album, Forever Young.
Yeah, I mean, he could have too many ideas, you know, and that's another issue. Like, when you inspired by vibes instead of planning, it's like, you gotta lock in. You're able to do things like that off the cuff when you're at the top and people are waiting on anything that you have to drop. But, bro, since Uzi's come out, there's been hundreds of new artists that have come out for people to listen to. Like, nobody's waiting on him to get his ideas in the right place to drop a new project. If he drops, cool, but if not, we got other shit to hear. No one, you know, was waiting. Uzi need to have dinner with Jay-Z. Unrelated, but I need to confess, the most hater shit, what? I've been on recently is seeing a headline of Alicia Keys divorcing Swiss Beats. I leapt out of my chair and praised God, only to find out things have been good in their marriage and they're happier than ever. I'm not gonna lie, I've never in my life, I think, been attracted to Alicia Keys in any capacity. I've never looked at her as anything more than just like a great singer. But that would low-key make my day. I'm not even trolling. And I don't know if it's because I fuck with Alicia or I hate Swiss Beats. Or I'm just that deep of a hater in my bones. But fuck it. We ball. We not begging for Uzi to drop, but once he does, I'll always be there. Facts. I hear that. I'm a be there when Uzi drop. 100%. What did Swaz do? I don't know. That's the thing. Or I said Swaz. I meant Swiss. I literally don't know. That's the thing. Like, I feel that way about a couple of niggas. Like Don Toliver and Kali Uchis, for example. I have no interest in Kali Uchis, but I just want Don away from that woman. It's mad niggas, bro. Whoever the fuck Margot Robbie's husband is, you know? I looked at, what's her name? I forgot her name, fuck. I know Nia Long just got cheated on by, oh boy, the coach. I was happy to hear that. Not like, oh my God, you're available now, but like, yeah, get away from her, gang. The fuck? Nigga weird. Get away from all women except me. Like, I just feel like, you know, that's just, I don't know. Who is Dakota Johnson? Am I thinking of the wrong name? Do you think a young chica has a shot with Alicia Keys? Oh my. Dude. Holy fuck. That is not what you said. Bro, first of all, you said something way worse, number one. And number two, why did I read that? What the fuck? Has a shot with Alicia Keys asking for a friend. Dude, come on, man. Oh, my God. That's not what I meant to say. Fuck. Look, relax. Bro, anybody's got a chance with anybody. I'm not gonna lie, though. If I were white and I wanted a black woman, I would feel like it would be I would feel like Jesus. Not like Jesus, but I would feel like it would be an intimidating experience. Not because black women are aggressive, but just because, like, I'm already out of my element. Like, how is this not going to turn into who's coming to dinner? You know that day is coming. You know it's coming. And God forbid you say the wrong thing at the dinner table, it's over.
Used to watch your videos back in the day, now I got a song with Lil Wayne, thank you Brody.
What the fuck? Fire? That's amazing. What song though? I appreciate you. Wow. You really only have a chance with Doja Cat. Look at niggas, bro. Like, it's like, dude, come on, man. Niggas saying elephants, bro. That's not the one. That's not the song that he's featured on. Stop. Niggas said Wayne do features with every y'all niggas are really haters. What the fuck? Niggas said I got a feature with Wayne, and then a nigga's response, nah, he be doing it with anybody though. What are you saying? Did Jelly Roll just donate? Alright, yeah. You're just not good people. Like, that's what I gotta understand and come to the realization of. You're just not decent human beings. And y'all talk about me, it's really you. It's really you on a regular basis too. That's the crazy part. Wayne passed around like a blunt. Alright. See, this the conversation that niggas want to have. Not me yet. Wayne got a couple more hits in the tank, being modest. Chat. I'm gonna make a smoothie too, by the way. I gotta figure out what smoothie I'm gonna make on a daily. Okay, let me get through this other one. Somebody sent me another one that I gotta look through. That was a good vid though. I don't mind that vid. I disagree with the motivations for it, but like, Jesus Christ. Many men, many men wish dick upon me, Lord. I don't cry no more.